And the only trick here was last week, guys, is getting as close to the microphone as possible.
That's correct.
Okay. Yes. All right.
Okay.
Okay. So the public hearing on Ordinance 8842 is now open. A public hearing is a meeting that provides the opportunity for public discussion regarding ordinances and other matters pending before City Council. Today, Ordinance 8842, which amends the zoning district map for 18.29 acres on South Dunbridge Road from A1 agricultural to I1 institutional zoning, will be discussed. Interested parties may express their views and submit evidence supporting those views at this public hearing. The information shared will become part of the city's permanent record and may be used by the members of City Council in deciding whether or not to adopt the ordinance. So there are 4 parts to a public hearing. First, we will hear a staff report. Second, we will hear the applicant's testimony. Third, we will receive any public testimony. And fourth, there will be discussion by members of City Council. So to begin, we will now receive the staff report from the Planning Director, Heather Saylor, who should be online. Heather?
I'm here. Good
Okay,
evening.
great. Hello.
I will go over this request very briefly since we do have the applicants on the line that will go over the presentation that was emailed to you ahead of time. That is also on the city website, along with the report that I did for the Planning Commission. And in addition to that, the handout I emailed to you prior to the public hearing is also on the city website. So the applicant for the rezoning request is Whitson Properties, which is the current property owner, and Bowling Green Healthcare Real Estate. The location of the property is approximately in the 600 block of South Dunbridge Road. It is a portion of a parcel that is around approximately 40 acres now, and they wish to rezone a portion that's 18.2905 acres. As part of your handout, we attached an aerial map so you could see that portion of the parcel they wish to rezone. Planning Commission did hold a public hearing on Wednesday, March 4th, and they referred the request to City Council with a positive recommendation, along with the staff report, which again I gave you a copy of, also gave a positive recommendation for the request. As we discussed already, the A1 agricultural current zoning, they are proposing the I1 institutional. As part of this handout, I did provide the A1 zoning and what are the permitted and conditional uses, along with the proposed I1 permitted and conditional uses. So essentially, the uses are very different, which is what the zoning change would do for the I1. It would allow the construction of a skilled nursing, assisted living, memory care, and independent living facility. The setbacks for both districts are exactly the same. However, the I1 does allow 60 feet for the maximum height and 30 feet maximum height for the A1 zoning. I1 does have a maximum lot coverage of 40%. However, there is no frontage requirement. And the current zoning does not have a maximum lot coverage requirement, but it does have a minimum frontage requirement of 100 feet. Additionally, the I1 zoning is similar to the surrounding zoning. Just to the south, you recall there's municipal court there owned by the city, and there is a county building in addition to that right to the south. So that's basically it as far as giving you a brief staff report. Again, I gave you the maps. You could see all the neighboring zoning. And in addition to that, the staff report, I think, covers more of the details. But otherwise, if you have any questions, please let me know.
Sure. Thank you. Any questions for Heather?
Oh. No.
No, Heather, thank you for all the advanced information. I'm curious, though, was the recommendation unanimous amongst the Planning Commission?
Yes, it was.
Great. Thank you, Heather.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Thanks, Heather. So we will now hear testimony from the applicant. Is the applicant or the applicant's representative present?
Yes, hello. This is Joy Skidmore with Avenue Development.
Okay. Hi, Joy. Could you also please state your address for the record?
Yeah. We are at, hang on. Yeah, normally I have to state it. So we're at 8435 Keystone Crossing Boulevard, Suite 140, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46240.
Okay. Thank you, Joy. Please go ahead.
Okay, I also have on the line with me Matt Quapis. He is our Vice President of Development. So I'm going to just run through the presentation again quickly because I know we're pinched a bit for time. And then Matt and I can answer any questions that you have afterwards. So slide 2, a little bit about Avenue. We partner with operators across the country to identify markets and then identify sites for development for those operators. So we get the property under contract, take it through entitlement, permitting, all the way through construction, and then turn it over to our operators to operate their facilities. The third slide, Trilogy Health Services is the operator for this property. They are a private company, family owned, been in operation for over 20 years. They have 117 communities across Indiana, Michigan, Kentucky, and Ohio, with a little over 30 of those in operation in Ohio. Slide 4 shows the location of the property, as Heather mentioned. We're just north of the intersection of Napoleon Road and South Dunbridge Road, just north of the Bowling Green Municipal Court. Slide 5 shows the zoning request. So you can see that we have institutional to the south as our adjoiner. So we would just be continuing that institutional, that I-1 zoning north to our development. Slide 6, some of the economic benefits of the project. We'll have approximately 125 jobs created with this project, with an estimated payroll from 4.5 to 4.7 million. With the development, there will be added property value, approximately 7.25 million in building, site, and infrastructure costs, and another additional 2.5 million in furniture, fixtures, and equipment. So that is the front 9 acres of the 18-acre site. The back 9 acres is reserved for future development, which would likely eventually be age-restricted independent living cottages. The next slide, slide 7, and the next few slides, talk about the Trilogy Foundation. So Trilogy Foundation is a not-for-profit corporation that partners with the for-profit Trilogy Health Services in providing benefits and services to their facilities. So they serve 3 populations within the facilities: their employees, their residents, and the communities that they're in. Slide 8, you can see a whole list of different benefits that they provide to their employees, most of which are financial benefits for education. They also do provide some assistance with first-time home buying, and they try to find foundation ambassadors within their different operations as well. Slide 9 shows some of the resident benefits from the Trilogy Foundation. So they provide help with honor flight, which is, taking veterans to Washington, D.C. to see the memorials. Their Live a Dream program helps residents accomplish things on their bucket list. And then they also provide some on-campus benefits as well and programs that they can towards residents. Slide 10 is basically everything listed to the right there. Trilogy Foundation will come into the community and partner with the different school systems to provide these to high school students. So there's job shadowing, there's internships, all of those things that are listed there, different apprenticeships and certification programs. Matt and I have spoken with Bowling Green Superintendent and with Penta Career Center, and think both school districts think this could be a great benefit to them, especially Penta. I think it'll be a great partnership. So we're excited about being able to bring these 2 folks together, being the school and the Trilogy Foundation, to provide some of these programs and assist with some of the programs that Penta already has in place. So slide 11 is a quick summary of the project. It's an 85,000 square foot facility with 115 beds, portion of the building being 2 stories. As Heather mentioned, we will have independent living, assisted living, memory care, and skilled nursing care. We did do traffic counts as a part of our development. And you can see on slide 12, our proposed plan, we have our access point there, which traffic counts did not indicate that we needed to do any major improvements to Dunbridge for this facility. So slide 12 shows our building there in sort of a cream color, and then the detention there to the south, and the gray and dark gray is our parking and drives around the site. So one access point, we've been working with staff to get that access point located in the appropriate position. Slide 13 is a rendering of what this facility will look like upon completion. Slide 14 has a little more detail on what those materials are in the rendering. You can see that it's hardy plank siding and shake siding, as well as some masonry on the building, shingled roof, and some metal roofs over the canopy. And the last slide, slide 15, upon approval, hopefully tonight, we would project a construction start in June. We were a little late in getting our site building permits. It's a little bit of a different schedule than what we showed Plan Commission, but we would anticipate that we would have all of our permits in May to be able to start construction in June, and then an anticipated building opening in the fall of next year. So with that, we'd be happy to answer any questions that the public has or any of the council members have.
Okay, thank you, Joy. Do we have John, Greg, any questions for Joy and Matt?
I don't, but I also attended the planning commission presentation, so this is the second time I'm hearing this, but no.
Okay.
I don't have any questions.
Neither do I. Rachel, sounds like a great project.
Okay, thank you, Joy and Matt. Kay, now we will move on to hear any testimony from the public. So any member of the public who would like to address this council, we're encouraged to call in. Kay, do we have anyone on the line?
We do not.
Okay. All right, so we will now discuss the ordinance as a committee. John, Greg?
Well, look, this is the type of project that I think we all are very hopeful to see more of in Bowling Green. So I'm 100% behind this effort.
John,
I would
anything
agree,
done?
Greg and Rachel. Sure, this sounds like a great project. Sounds like a needed facility, and 125 jobs sounds terrific.
And I will third that sentiment. Okay, so Joy and Matt and Heather, thank you for calling in. Okay, yes. Mayor Osbacher has a question.
Yes, thank you. Joy, this is a question for Joy with Avenue. Joy, I was wondering if you could tell me who will be responsible for coordinating pre-construction activities on the project, including the project estimating.
So we have a construction team that we have been working with, and we have an in-house person that is coordinating all of that estimating.
Okay, so please don't confuse what I'm about to say as a official council action. This is just a request for me personally. I was hoping that you could communicate to the team a preference for local labor to be used on this project. As you're aware, our community has experienced significant economic impact associated with the COVID-19 situation. I know that there are a great number of construction firms in the Northwest Ohio area who are being affected in a very negative way. And I would also say that there are correspondingly a great number of construction companies located in Northwest Ohio that are certainly capable of performing quality work that would be appropriate for this project. So I would think that that would be a reasonable request, considering the fact that there are tax abatements involved in this project that do constitute a local investment. I would just ask that your construction coordinators do consider utilizing local Northwest Ohio labor on the project.
Absolutely, and I believe we are out to bid to several local construction companies. Matt, do you want to speak to that or add anything to that?
Yes, that's correct. Excuse me, there are 4 different general contractors bidding this. 2 are local to the Northwest Ohio area. And in our pre-bid conversations with all general contractors, they had all expressed that they were getting significant participation from their sub-network in the area. So we feel very good about that request. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for local contractors to be involved.
That's very good news. I'm very happy to hear that. Thank you so much.
Anything else? Okay, thank you, Joy, Matt, and Heather. This concludes the public hearing on ordinance 8842. Thank you.
Thank you. Night.
Thank you.
All righty.
Moving down.